to all my cutest little first PUC champions. I believe every one of you who is watching this video is doing absolutely good and you children are happy. And I know we are meeting for the first time. So for those of you who have no idea who am I, my name is Jasmine Joy and I teach biology, as you can clearly see. And I really want you guys also to introduce yourselves so that I know that this child watched my video, and basically whenever I spot you in some live or things like that, I can probably talk to you and help you out in a better manner as well. So do let me know in the comment section only if you're interested. Okay, now going ahead, you know what, I have come here with one shot with two secret missions. But since you guys are my friends, I probably can share the secret mission that I have. The first mission is to make sure that every single person who watches this video is confident enough to teach the chapter to someone else also, because I believe if you're able to teach it to someone else, that means all your concepts are clear by yourself, right? So I want to make sure that everyone is able to teach someone else as well. Second thing, I will try my best to make sure that every one of you who tries solving questions from this particular chapter is 110% successful in that. So this session is technically for first PUC as well as KCET champions, but since I have got several comments from my second PUC and in general one-shot videos that ma'am, when I watch it, I am able to solve some neat questions as well. So I really want you guys to try ahead with your neat questions. I hope that you will be able to solve it. As far as I know, you will be able to solve it. Yes, so these are the two secret missions that I have, but it is going to be impossible if you guys are not going to give your 10%. I'm not asking for 100, just give your 10. Okay, I'm going to give 90, or probably I'll give 100, but okay, 90. Together we are going to make it 100. Now when you feel that, no ma'am, I am going to put my 100%, I'll be slowly moving aside out there. You can keep on giving your 100%. I will help you in the best possible way I can. That's my promise. Okay, that's my promise. Fine. Yes, so until the point you move from 10 to 100, I'll try to give my best out there, and once you start giving 100, I'm going to help you. It's not like I will not give my best, I will help you in all possible ways which is there. Cool. So one more very important thing, you might see me jumping over here in the class and things like that. So it's just my normal nature. When I'm teaching, I am super energetic. I try to maintain that energy. Sometimes I do not. I'm not able to, but yeah, you are gonna see that all over here. Do not be scared of any of it. Let's go with the chapter. Now Baba, the chapter's name is Living World, right? Obviously in Living World you are going to see living organisms and things like that. So to start with, I have brought in some cute little organisms. We're going to talk about it and then we're going to build up a story and come throughout, as in basically we will be able to link each and every part of this particular chapter. So starting with this particular guy that you can clearly see over here, you know what's the name of this guy? Sidewinder. It's a common name that you have. Actual name could be, scientific name could be something else. It can be known as viper, this and that, so many things would be there, but this is actually Sidewinder. Why do you call it Sidewinder? Because Baba, if you have seen snakes, they move like this, right? They usually move like this, but this guy moves sideways, and that too in deserts. Now think about the reason why does it move sideways. You only think, Baba, if at all it moves straight, all the different parts of its body is going to touch the sand, and sand is very, very hot in desert and it can get burned, which is why it wants to avoid that and make sure that it has least contact with soil. So this is a slow motion picture that I'm showing over here. If at all you Google it, you will be able to see that this guy moves like this, sideways, and with that it makes sure that I have minimum contact with the sand out there. That is why it is known as Sidewinder. You see them in the desert region and nowhere else. Okay, now we're going to move ahead to the next guy, that is orangutans. That is a cute guy up there. You know, orangutans are found in the rainforest. They are not monkeys, they are coming under apes. Monkeys and apes are different, by the way. We are apes. Okay, human beings comes under apes. Orangutans also come from the ape. They are very intelligent like us, or probably I should be saying that we are so intelligent like them. Okay, we are so intelligent like them. They don't have tail and all. And you know what, I'll talk about a fun fact of this particular guy. every night before it goes to its sleep, it makes a bed and all. You know, that's cute. Just imagine tree house in the actual tree. Oh my God, that's really nice, right? So orangutans are found in the rainforest. Sidewinder were found in the deserts. Now what? Now you have polar bear that you find in the Arctic regions. And if you see this guy is not doing the somersault, it's trying to attack through the snow to get probably a fish or a seal or things like that. Well, I'll talk about a fun fact about this guy also. I have done my homework. Okay, it can smell its prey even when it's 1 kilometer away from it. Super good, no? Ma'am, I can also, when biryani is being made, I can also smell things. That is a little different. There we are talking about prey that is able to move 1 kilometer away. It can smell easily. Why? Because its receptors over here, olfactory receptors that it has for sensing the smell, it's super strong out there. And one more fact, it is said that their fur which is there, it is transparent in color. It's not actually white, it's actually transparent, and their body is going to be like this. It's going to be dark, it's going to be black in color. The reason why is that because it wants to absorb all the sunlight. You know, it's very cold and snow obviously, right? And it wants to absorb all the sunlight, which is exactly why it has something like that. So we saw 3 different organisms from 3 different places, one in snow, one in desert, one in rainforest, and the next organism is actually the most notorious one. It is Jasmine Ma'am, your biology teacher. Baba, we come under what? We come under human beings, and we are there on the land, in the air. We are at so many different locations. But that's not what I was trying to tell you. I was trying to show you something. That basically over here, when you look through the entire thing, you see something that is known as biodiversity. What do you see? You see something that is known as biodiversity. Variety of living organism, variety of different habitats, everything, so many different types. This is cumulatively known as what? Biodiversity. So I can say biodiversity is a variety of all living organisms. It can be plant, animals, microorganisms also, and the ecosystem they inhabit. So it's not just variety in the living organism, it's also about the ecosystem. There are also different varieties. Arctic region, temperate region, tropical region, this region, that region, so many things are up there. And the thing that you need to remember from your end in exam point of view is that as far as, for example, I am a scientist, okay, not just me, you guys are also scientists. We're all scientists. What do you think? How many of the organisms have we got to understand? We have identified them, we have given them the name and everything. How many of them are known to us, and how many of them have we identified? We have done everything. Almost 1.7 to 1.8 million. How much? 1.7 to 1.8 million. You and me, we are scientists. And how many varieties of organisms did we identify right now? 1.7 to 1.8 million. Will you forget it? This is something that you did. You should not be forgetting it. By the way, this is an important question. Do not forget it. Okay? So number of species that are known and described. Known and they are described range between 1.7 to 1.8 million. This can be an MCQ question. Okay. So this is about biodiversity. I try to show you different type of organisms out there. Now you only tell. Okay. When we talk about different type of organisms, that means that everyone is going to call it by different names. For example, I have you over here. I can call you Kuchu Puchu. Okay, there can be someone else who can call you with other name, Rahul, or probably Preeti, or whatever name it comes. You know, I liked what do you say, modern name, Abigail and stuff like that. But anyways, okay, so these kind of things could be there, right? You might be called with different names. For example, some people call me JJ. Okay, so previous year all the children used to call me JJ. Okay, in my office people call me JJ. At my home people call me Mittu. My friends call me Jazz. There are different names that I have for myself. Are we talking about the same person? The answer is yes. Now the same problem is actually encountered when we talk about other living organisms. Mine though, okay, there is no one who is going to probably talk about me. That's fine. But when you talk about a dog, what do you call this animal in your native language? Just think about it. You probably can ask to your friends also, if at all they are from different places, you can talk about it. Well, you know what? I did my research. I went there, okay. I went to my office and I spoke about it to my colleagues out there. So these are my colleagues. By the way, Malayalam, I'm going to talk about it. And I asked them, what do you call dog in their native language? Now obviously the audio could be less, please forgive me, I was just trying to make it a little interactive. So let's go with Akash, who speaks Kannada.
Say dog in Kannada. Nai.
You call it Nai in Kannada. Okay, the dog is known as Nai. The second part is going to be even more interesting. Okay.
Sonic sir, what do you call dog in Bengali?
Kukur.
Kukur.
Just imagine, you call it Nai here, you call it Kukur there. In Hindi we say Kutta. Okay, in Malayalam, do you know what do you call it? You call it Nai if at all you want to give respect, and you should ideally be giving respect to any organism out there. And you also colloquially call it Patti. Okay, we also call it Patti. So Patti, Kukur, Nai, and there is Kutta, and there is different other languages that we have in the world. Now suppose I make a list of all these names. Okay, what do you call dog in throughout India? If I make a list of it and probably I give it to someone who is there in America, that I have studied about this particular organism, Kukur, I studied everything about it and I'm giving it to you. Now the American guy who is there, okay, will he understand everything? Will he understand anything actually? He will actually wonder that, are you talking about dog or is it something else? I do not know. What do you, Kukur? It's actually known as dog, right? So there's too much amount of confusion. And that's when we say that we technically have a problem. We technically have a problem. Yes, we definitely have a problem. The problem is that one species which is there, by the way, these are the reasons why we came up with scientific name. Okay, these are the reasons why we came up with scientific name. So make sure you go through it really, really carefully. Okay, one species can be known by many common or local names, leading to confusion. Yeah, so tomorrow someone says Kukur, I spotted Kukur there. I think that Kukur is some very big animal or something else. It's just my imagination. But actually Kukur is a dog, right? Obviously it is going to create a lot of confusion. The second problem is that the same common name may be used for different species in different regions or languages. So in Bengali, Kukur is known as that is dog, right? Probably in some other region, Kukur will be known as some other organism. We do not know. So how do we know whether we're talking about the dog or the other organism? We have literally no idea about that, right? The next problem, many species, particularly those with little economic significance, do not have a common or vernacular name. Vernacular is a native name as well. For example, there is X organism out there. Papa guy is just staying there. No one discovered it. No one knows about it much, or people discovered it, but they didn't. Like, it's a random organism, a random plant out there. Why will I even care about it? So if it's like that, since it is not having a economic significance, it is not of any use for us in terms of any way, in that particular case, will you bother naming it? No. You do not bother naming it. And in that way, a lot of the organisms which will be there, they will be unnamed. They are going to be unnamed because they do not have any economic importance. So then, these were the problems. One species can have multiple names. The species name that we have over here can be used for another species elsewhere. The third problem was that organisms with no significance, economic significance, they would not be having a name also. Papa guys out there, no? Which is why we thought that we have to solve this particular issue. So Doggy is asking, Bow, what's the solution? Bow. So basically, what's the solution that we have for this particular issue that is there? We should ideally have a common scientific name. Okay, we should ideally be having a common scientific name which is going to be same. You know, there is a song, I forgot that song. Japan, Rus, Malaysia, no. There's a song like that. Anyways, so it says, it's talk about different places. So whether it's Japan, whether it's Russia, whether it's Malaysia, whether it's India, if at all I'm talking about mango, people should understand that it's mango only that I'm talking about. Okay, this also, for mango also we have different names. Okay, in Malayalam we say manga. Okay, in Hindi we say aam. There are different names. And by the way, what is mango known as in your native language? You can tell me in the comment section. I hope I can get to see some funny names as well. Okay, anyways, so this particular organism, that is mango over here, a living organism, a plant that is there, if you give it a scientific name and it is known throughout the world in the same manner, don't you think it can help us with understanding things a lot better? Yes, and that's exactly why we came up, not we, people came up, the scientists which were there, who were there, they came up with a thing that is known as nomenclature. It's actually a process where we standardize the naming of living organism such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. This is known as nomenclature. Got it? So what are we doing? We are standardizing the name. We are going to make sure we give a scientific name such that everywhere else in this particular universe it is known with the same name. So mango, which is there, in actual terms, you know what's the name of it in scientific name? It is known as Mangifera indica. It is known as Mangifera indica, and it is going to be remaining the same throughout. Mangifera indica. Remember that. Okay. Now, ma'am, why this name and how do you think that scientific naming helps? If at all you have been asked a question like that where you have to give descriptive answer, how will you say? You can go like this. Scientific name prevents confusion, right? Because only one name is there. Ensures that the same scientific name is accepted by biologists all over the world. So it's a stringent rule that whatever we are naming over here, it has to be followed everywhere. You cannot go around changing the name. It's like an authorized thing. Okay, you cannot change things. For example, today I'm in power, I am going to put it like this. Tomorrow someone else's power, I am going to change it to something else. So it's like how we have in the states of India, right? That is not going to happen there, because there is actually someone who is dealing with it and who says that this is the name that you have to follow throughout. So it is going to be accepted by biologists all over the world, right? The next thing, allows people anywhere in the world to identify an organism using its scientific description. So scientific name which is there, it comes up with descriptions and stuff like that. Basically, when the name is there, it gives an idea about what organism is this, is it related to something else and stuff like that. When you have a name, a scientific name, it gives an idea about a lot of things. And I'll tell you, how does it give an idea about a lot of things? With the single name that is there, Mangifera indica, how does it give me a lot of idea? I am going to decode the name and you are going to understand things a lot better then. Okay, so anyway, so it allows people anywhere in the world to identify an organism using its scientific description. Next thing, ensures that a scientific name is not used for any other known organism. So when we know that this scientific name is already taken, we are not going to use the same name for any other organism again. So yes, it kills confusion. Yes, it is going to be accepted by biologists all over the world, which is why they are not going to change it. Second thing, people are going to get to know more about things whenever they go with research. Why? Because with the help of the scientific name, they get an idea about what this organism is, in which group does it belong and stuff like that. Okay, similarly, it ensures that no name is being repeated for any other organism as well. So scientific name definitely helps. It definitely helps us, and we're gonna see who makes the rules. So as of now, I told you there are some people who says that this is the name and this should not be changed, right? So who are these people and what rule do they make? So there are two codes, or there are two institutions out there. We say ICBN is for plants and there is ICZN. So ICBN is the international code for botanical nomenclature. Botanical, as in, you know, botany means plant. So whenever a plant is being named, it's basically by this, okay, by this rules or things like that, or the people who are behind it. So it's going to be known as International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Please remember the, description, or the abbreviated form is definitely important, but apart from that, the full form is also important. What is it? International. Is it national? Is it national? Sorry. Is it national? No, ma'am. It is international, right? It is international code for what? Botanical plants, no? Botanical nomenclature. So international code for botanical nomenclature is being followed for naming what? Naming the plants out there. Now similarly over here there is ICZN. There is ICZN for animals. Now you can guess it. If there it was botany, here it is going to be zoology, right? So it is going to be zoological. But anyway, let's see. International code of zoological nomenclature is going to be followed for naming the animals out there. Is followed for naming the animals out there. So ICBN is there, ICZN is there. Do not get confused. I'm going to ask this question later on also. So they are going to make rules around botany, and that means plants, and they're going to make rules around what? Animals, naming all of them, right? And listen to me, what rule do they generally follow? What is a basic rule that these organizations are going to follow right over here? What do you think is the basic rule according to them? The basic rule according to them is very, very simple, that every name, every scientific name which is there should follow binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature. What do you mean by that? Bi means two, nomial means name. It means that every organism scientific name, when you see, you are going to see two parts of it. You're going to see two parts of it. Binomial. two parts of a name. This is known as binomial nomenclature. This is the basic rule that we have. Obviously, you have more rules. We're going to talk about it. This is the basic rule that we have. Now, how do we name it? What do you mean by having a two name, ma'am? So, the first name that you see over here, we say it's the generic name. What do you say? We say it's a generic name. Generic name is basically the genus name. It indicates the genus. What do you mean by that, ma'am? Listen to me carefully. Okay. Genus is a category that we have. Okay, genus is going to be a category that we have where we say if at all you have this character, this character, this character, you come under this particular genus. So over here, mango which is there, it has certain characters, which is why it comes under a genus that is known as Mangifera. Suppose you are a lion, you are a tiger or something else. Okay, if you are a lion, if you are a tiger or something else, you know they are very related, lion, tiger, leopard and all. They come under another genus. Why? They come under another genus that is known as Panthera. Why? Because they follow all the characters of a group. They follow all the characters of a group. So when I say that Mangifera indicates a genus, I mean what? I mean that basically it follows all the characters of that particular category. You do not have to consider genus. Just consider it's a category. If I want to put you in that particular category, basically you should be having certain characters which matches with the characters that are there for the organism who are already there in the category. You get it? So Mangifera which is there is basically the genus name. Genus is what? Again, a category. It's going to be a category, right? Now over here, always remember the first letter which is there is going to be capital letter. This letter that you see over here is going to be what? Capital letter. Cool, always. This is a very important rule. Fine. Now we go with the second name. Second name which is there is the specific epithet, or you say it's the species name. So listen to me very carefully. Okay, listen to me very, very carefully. We're going to talk about it. Do not worry. So genus is a category, okay, in which I'm going to put organism if at all they have these many characters. Now under genus you have species. So we say, no, first we categorize A, B, C, then A1, A2, A3, like that. If at all they are more similar for certain things, we are going to put them here. Okay, species number 1. Under genus, you have multiple number of species. Species 1, species 2, species 3 and things like that. So basically, mango which is there, it comes under Mangifera genus. There might be different other organisms also in there, right? Now, when I say indica, it denotes that it comes under this particular species. Species number 1. If I have something else over here, it denotes that it comes under some other species which is there. That is the basic logic which you have to use. Okay, so the first name that you have is a category's name that is known as genus category. Okay, so you call this as generic name. What do you call? You call this as generic name. It indicates the genus. It is indicating what? It is indicating what genus is this particular organism in or coming under. Similarly, the next term which is there, it denotes the specific epithet. Specific epithet means the species name. It denotes the species name, and you have to be very careful over here. The first letter I told you here has to be capital, but here it should be small letters always. The second name should be starting with a small letter. This form of naming is known as binomial nomenclature. And with this, I'll take you back over here. When we spoke about this particular thing that was there, if you remember, I told you it allows people anywhere in the world to identify an organism using a scientific description. That means with the name itself, I get to understand that this particular guy who is there comes under this particular genus. So whatever characters are already there in the genus, I basically understand that this guy also follows that. When I say this guy comes under this particular species, I understand that it follows all the features of that particular species. You get it? People have already made the list of it. What are the characters that are going to be followed in this particular species and stuff like that. So am I not getting an easy identification? Yes, with just two names? Yes, Baba. This is known as binomial nomenclature. This is going to be known as binomial nomenclature. And now, there is one very important thing that you have to remember. Someone is saying, if at all no one told you yet, I am Mr. Carlos Linnaeus. And by the way, there are more rules as well. So this is just one rule, that is binomial nomenclature, that you have to follow binomial nomenclature while naming an organism. And basically, he did it. Okay, it was Carolus Linnaeus. Please remember his name. I can write it for you. Okay, we have to know the spelling. So Carolus, Carol, you know, Carol singing is there in Christmas. So Carolus Linnaeus. What is the spelling of Linnaeus? Linnaeus. Yes. At the end we have US. Okay, at the end we have US. In between we have AE. Yes. Very, very important. Okay, ne is always AE. The reason I am teaching you spelling over here is that I used to do some mistakes over there and teacher used to cut my marks. I really do not want you guys to do the same mistake again. Okay, so your mistakes are basically the thing that is going to remind you, what do I say, there's a dialogue in there. Your mistakes are something that is going to teach you that you do not have to do mistakes again. So this has taught me that we should not be doing mistakes again. And that's exactly why I'm here. Binomial nomenclature was given by whom? Carlos Linnaeus out there. And he is saying that it's not that when you're talking about nomenclature, it's not about having just two names. There are more rules to it that you need to follow. Okay, and what are those few rules? The first one is basically names are generally in Latin. Okay, names are generally in Latin and they're going to be written in italics. They are going to be written in italics. Latinized or derived from Latin is irrespective of their origin. Very important. Listen to me. Now the name can be derived from anywhere. Okay, from India some people gave out some name. You need to understand that they're going to Latinize it, because that is a language that they're going to use. That's a general thing. If any scientific name is there, basically it has to be Latinized. And the reason why people use Latin language is basically because it is not prone to much changes. Okay, it is not prone to much changes out there. We say it's a dead language. You can go and check it out. It's known as dead language because it's not being used up by most of the people, which is why there are no much changes that are going to be seen up there. Okay, that is why we have this language as something that we are following during the binomial nomenclature. Always remember, every name that we're going to give is going to be in Latin, or if it is not in Latin, it is going to be Latinized. Irrespective of what's their origin, we are going to Latinize it. And it is going to be written in italics also. We're going to talk about more about it over here. So the first point talks about more about Latin, and it also says that when you're writing it, it has to be in italics. It is written in italics. That is a rule. Okay. Now we're going to talk more about it. Wait. Second is that the first word represents the genus. Ma'am, I know that you told that, yeah. The second component denotes what? The specific epithet. First word is going to be the genus, representing the genus. The second word which is there, it is going to represent the species where this organism belongs to. Okay, ma'am, that is also done. The third one which is there, it says that handwritten. Okay, whenever it is handwritten, both words underlined separately. What do you mean by that? For example, what I am doing right now, I am writing it. This is handwritten. So what is the rule in handwritten? That basically I have to underline them separately. If at all, Baba, you go like this, Mangifera indica. Now, ma'am, why to space them? Why to have a breakup over here? Let's make a single line. This is considered wrong. Always understand the genus name and the species name has to be underlined separately whenever you are writing it. And you are writing it in the examination, which is why they expect you to follow this particular thing as well. And you already studied this thing. And you already studied the next rule, which is there. Genus starts with a capital letter. This letter has to be capital. And this letter, the species epithet, has to be starting with a small letter. This is a small letter which is there. So what are the rules? Ma'am, rules are very, very simple. But before that, I have missed one thing. Okay, so when handwritten, it has to be underlined, it has to be written and underlined separately. That is there. But when printed, this is important. When you are printing it, it has to be in italics to indicate their Latin origin. Okay, why do you have it printed in italics? So when you say, this is basically a printed thing. I have not written it. Basically, we can say it's a printed thing when you get in PDF. Anyway, if you see, they are all like this. Okay, they are all tilted over here. We say they are, what do you say, tilted over here. It shows what? It shows their Latin origin. It shows their Latin origin. Always remember that as well. So how many rules do we have? Let's have a quick sneak peek about it. The first rule that we are going to have is that all the names which are there are generally Latin. Okay, now if they are not Latin, we are going to make it Latinized. Irrespective of the origin, we do not care about the origin, we are going to Latinize them. Yes, because this was said by ICBN and ICBN and ICZN that you have to follow this. Okay, cool. Second rule that we have is that basically every name that is there should be having two parts. One part should be the genus name, the first part. The second part should be representing the species name. Okay. Got it. First part is known as generic name, second part is known as specific epithet. Cool. Fine. The third rule that we have is what? The third rule says that whenever you're handwriting, okay, whenever the name of the organism is handwritten, you have to make sure that they have to be written separately and underlined separately. This is very, very important. They have to be underlined separately. Now, whenever you are going to print the same thing, you have to make sure that they are in italics. Very, very important. Why italics? Because they represent their Latin origin. You know what? This was a KCET question. I'm going to show you the question. I will not tell you about this thing more, but this was a KCET question, and it's a very simple. If you do not know the basic chutku things, you're going to lose your marks. I'm there. I'll show you the reason. Okay, this was the third rule. The fourth rule is also there. The first rule says that second and the fourth rule are related. Okay, it says that whenever you're talking about the genus name, you have to give some respect, macha. You have to make the first letter in capital. Okay, and when you talk about the specific name, basically you have to make it the first letter should be in first letter, and all the letters basically should be in small letter. Very, very important. So these are the 4 rules. Okay, who gave binomial nomenclature? Carolus Linnaeus. Okay, who is responsible for naming and the organisms out there? If it's plant, it is what? International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Okay, if it's animal, International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Okay, ma'am, got it. Nomenclature is what? Naming organisms. Okay, a standardized process of naming organisms such that they are going to be known with the same name throughout the world. Right, this process is known as nomenclature. Got it? Okay, how many organisms are there known and described so far? You and me found it, if you remember. 1.7 to 1.8 billion. Okay, million. Okay, million. Please remember that. This is something that we have learned so far. And we also have learned something, that is Mangifera indica is the name of this particular guy. That is what? Your mango. Okay, ma'am, got it. Now, over here, Carolus Linnaeus is asking, dude, you spoke about the binomial nomenclature, no credits for me? I gave you the credit. No, I told you that Carolus Linnaeus basically came up with this binomial nomenclature. So Carolus Linnaeus said that, no, that's not fine. I really have put my efforts. I want to be acknowledged. Okay, then I'll acknowledge you. So always remember, there is a hidden third word in the name. And this third word which is there, it is going to represent the scientist or the person who was behind that particular thing, who discovered that thing, who came up with that thing. Okay, so Mangifera indica, Linn. Linn dot stands for what? Linnaeus. It stands for Linnaeus. So obviously you have to give due credit to the people who have worked hard, right? In life also it's like that. For example, you work hard really, really well. If I do not come and say that, hey Gautam, or hey, Nalini, you have done wonderful, basically it's of no use. Obviously you have to credit yourself, but others also should be acknowledging that if you have put in your efforts, and I promise I'll do that. Okay, I promise I'll do that. So basically, Mangifera indica, Linn over here. Linn represents what? Linn represents the person who is behind the naming. So abbreviated Linnaeus as Linn, placed at the end after the specific epithet, tells you who first described this particular species out there. Who first described the species. Species out there. So he was the person who first described the species. So Mangifera indica, Linn, this species was first described by Linnaeus. Please remember, it was the species that first discovered by Linnaeus, which is why it is known as Mangifera indica, Linn. It's not the genus, the species. Okay? Yes. Now, spot the error. This is a drill that you have over here. You have to spot the error. Which of these names are written correctly? Shout it out. Obviously, you cannot shout it out. So probably you can tell me in the comment section. Come on, everyone who is watching this video, in the comment section, okay? Mangifera indica, Mangifera indica, indica Mangifera, Homo sapiens illum. Oh my God. So you have to tell which of the names are written correctly. Okay? Not in a wrong manner, correctly. What do you think? Is this correct? Mangifera indica spelling, ma'am, it's correct. Arey Baba, first letters, capital letter. Here the first letter of this genus species name cannot be capital letter. No, so this is wrong. Mangifera indica, this seems to be perfect. Mangifera, first letter capital. Here also basically this is following the rule. Species name should be starting with a small letter. This is correct. Mangifera indica, both the letters, it's like we are going to be same. It's going to be wrong, Baba. Genus name has to start with a capital letter. Indica Mangifera, you did ulta only, so obviously it is going to be wrong. Species name has to come over here. Homo sapiens Linn. That is human beings, by the way, and lineage has nothing to do over here, so we'll just cross it off. So what is the only correct answer that we have? We just have one, and that is this. So I will be giving you this PDF, by the way. You do not have to be worried about the PDF. You will be getting it in the WhatsApp channel. The WhatsApp channel link is there. But before that, just a second, okay? Where is it? There is a thing that I wanted to show you. I was ready to show you over here. Yeah. So basically, this is my one shot for human reproduction. That is not something that I want to show you over here. The thing that I want to show you over here is this. You know, there is a link that is join the free KCET, ACE KCET course right now. You just have to click on this particular link. Let's see what happens. Okay. So once you do that, you have to go to buy now. Once you go to buy now, you are going to be asked about your mobile number. You just fill that. The thing that happens later on is going to be magic. Well, when you say buy now, you thought that you had to pay something, but actually you do not have to pay anything. There in this particular page, it is known as all in one page. What do you call this? You call this as all in one page. In one page itself, you're going to see all the things that are being covered in YouTube. So YouTube comes with a lot of things. There are strategy videos, there is counseling videos, there is academic videos. So I believe that every student over here needs more of acad content, which is why that has to be sorted. So it has been sorted and given to you. It could be second PUC at this time, but the first PUC would also be coming in really soon. I request every one of you go check it out. It's linked with YouTube, so everything that is taught in YouTube will be linked there. It will be seen there. Assignments will be given. So check it out. Yeah, and until that particular point, okay, so obviously you're gonna do that. Along with that, I'll request you join the Diksha KCET WhatsApp channel. So almost 30,000 people are there, 31,000 people are there. My dear children are there, and those are the seniors. They are gonna go, and you are gonna come in next year. You're gonna go. That is how it goes on. Okay, so that's a community. We are not gonna spam you. We're not gonna make you pay money out there. It's going to be simple. We are going to share every update, as in what class comes. Whenever a class is live, we just message there that this class is live. Probably I'll be coming up sometimes. Okay, it's not like I'm totally managing it, but sometimes I come to interact. So I'll be coming in, making some videos out there, talking about it and stuff like that. Okay, so make sure you go join that. Okay, cool. Yes. So now next, this is a KCET question, by the way. Identify the incorrect statement with respect to the rules of binomial nomenclature. This is KCET 2025 question. You have to find which of this statement is going to be incorrect, not the correct one. You have to spot the incorrect one. The first statement says, the first word represents the genus. Until this particular point, correct. While the second component denotes a specific epithet. This is also correct. You have to find the incorrect one, right? So this goes off. Biological names are generally in Latin or Latinized, irrespective of the origin. We know that. Okay, if it's not Latin, we'll make it Latinized. Okay, next thing. Biological names are underlined separately when handwritten. Obviously, yes. Okay, biological names are printed in italics to indicate their non-Latin origin. They are printed in italics for what reason? Otherwise, you could have just made it straight and it would have been very easy. You have made it italics for one reason, that is you wanted to show Latin origin. No, why will you show non-Latin origin? Now you tell me, the thing that I was talking about, isn't it important? In case in 2025 a question came, and probably if at all you had not gone through that, clearly you would have lost your marks, right? So please do remember this very important thing. This is the incorrect statement that we have in this particular question. Italics indicate their Latin origin and not their non-Latin origin. Clear? Clear, man. Okay. Now, there is I've showed you the answer also. So I'll just hide it. Will that work? Binomial nomenclature is introduced by Bentham and Hooker, Carlos Linnaeus, John Ray and Lamarck. I know that you have already seen the answer, and I know that you already know the answer as well. This is actually KCET 2022 question. Now, if at all you had not studied the term out there, Carlos Linnaeus, there are so many people you're going to study throughout your 11th grade. You're going to get confused with the scientists out there. Always remember, Carolus Linnaeus was the guy who gave binomial nomenclature. A, B, C, D. Okay, so B comes before Carolus Linnaeus. So he is the one who gave binomial nomenclature. I know this is a very stupid, silly thing that I'm talking about over here, but since someone did some stupidity like this, you might remember things better. Yes. Now we are coming into the next part of the chapter, which is going to get a little trickier, but not too difficult. Let me just drink some water here, and I hope you guys are also hydrating yourself. Listen to me carefully, okay? Ma'am, we heard about this classification, this genus and species and stuff like that, and we don't understand anything. You know, everyone says kingdom, species, genus, family, order, and we have no idea what exactly is this. What is classification at the first place? We have no idea about that. Okay, according to you, if at all you are not someone who has seen the NCERT, what do you mean by classification? In general way, what do you mean by classification? It basically means that depending on some of its feature, I am going to group it into different categories. That is classification, right? For example, who are the most important people of your life? You have their, what do you say, face, their name in your head. We are going to categorize them. Who are the least important people in your life? You would be having some people like that. Okay, so this categorization, that is something that we do every single day. For example, today is a day where I am going to start preparation of my studies. I am going to make sure that from 1 to this particular time I am going to study this. This is the high priority. Who decides the high priority? You have classified it into the high priority subject out there. That is what you mean by classification. This is not a big term out there. It's very easy term. It's a process where you basically assign things into different categories. That's all. Right. Now here, when we see this particular chapter, we know kingdom, species, genus, family, order, a lot of things comes in. How do you come up with that? What do you mean by that? And how do you arrange it? So listen to me. I'm giving you a task over here. Okay, these are clothes. These are basically clothes. You are seeing multiple clothes, multiple type of clothes over here. Right, ma'am. If I want to classify them, how do I classify them? If I want to classify these clothes, how do I classify them? Basically, ma'am, I'll make sure that I separate them. Easiest way is to separate them into socks and frocks. Right? Socks and frocks. I'm going to separate them all together. So this is the first classification that I have. Okay, depending on the several features, the most common features, I'm going to segregate them into equal things. Here also I'm going to segregate them into one particular thing. Now if I'm asking you, classify them again. If I'm asking you, classify them again, and you can forget about frocks. Just see the socks, and if you're asked to classify them again, what do? You are going to classify them on the basis of more similar features. Baba, here the thing was broad. Yes, you were classifying them on the basis of similar features. All of them were socks, so we put them in socks. All the three were frocks, so we put them in the frocks. Now, I'm asking you, classify them again. When you classify them again, aren't you going to classify them on the basis of some specific, very common characters out there? Right? So I'll say relatability of the organisms which are going to be put, they are going to be increased. So in general, if you do not understand it, let me classify it. Socks is there is red, there is blue, there is orange, and there is green. I can basically classify them like this. Blue socks separate, red socks separate, green socks separate, orange socks separate. Right? Baba, over here when I separate them like this, don't you think their similarity is more? Their similarity over here is going to be more. These are going to be more similar. All of them are socks. Definitely they are similar. But when I talk about the blue socks, they are going to be more similar. They are blue in color. The red one are going to be more similar over here. Green one more similar. Orange socks more similar. You get it? Now, from the socks that I have, in the color socks that I have, basically I can again make a segregation on the basis of size. Right? So all the size that are smaller will be coming together. Again, the similarity is going to increase as and when we go on, keep on classifying them. Is it? The similarity, the common features which are there, they're going to increase in much more amount. This is exactly what is being followed in this particular case while you classify organisms also. So there is a broad category, you call this as kingdom. Under kingdom comes the next category, which is known as phylum in the case of animals and division in the case of plants. This is the next category that we have. Now again, organisms which are little similar comes under class. In the class, I'm going to divide them into order. In the order, obviously, you will be having organisms more similar. In the order, I am going to divide them into family. They will be more similar. In the family, I am going to divide them into genus. They are going to be more similar. As I told you, Mangifera indica. Mangifera is a genus. Indica is a species. Now, indica is one species. Similarly, you will have something else. Similarly, you have something else. That is going to be the species. So when I say that this is how it is there, I will make you remember it as well, to not be worried. When I say that this is how the division or classification goes, you tell me one thing. Okay, the common characters which are there, it's going to be more where? Here or here. The most common characters which are going to be there, more similarity, where will you spot it? In the species or in the kingdom? Ma'am, in the species, because I am segregating like that, socks, green socks, and then the sizes, right? More similarity is definitely going to be found over here. That's the basic funda. That's all. It's as simple as that. Okay, people get confused. Now you're not gonna get confused. Why? Because the concept is clear. Right? So while you go up, the common characters which are there, they're going to decrease. Common characters which are there, they're going to decrease. Right? Yes, definitely. Number of members which are there, they're going to increase. So if you see over here, we had 1, 2, 1, 2. So suppose this was the kingdom. This was the kingdom that we had. Kingdom is divided into phylum. More common features will be there. So this is a phylum where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 organisms are there. In the case of kingdom, how many were there? 8 plus 3, 9, 10, 11. 11 organisms were there in the kingdom. Now when you make phylum, in one phylum there are 8, in another phylum there are 3. Number of organisms which are there in the group is decreasing, right? Now when you're dividing the socks, over here 2, 2, 2, 2 each. Right? So when you go up in general, if at all you've seen, here it was 2, here it was 2, here it becomes 8, here it becomes more than that. Because the commonness is also decreasing. That's why you can group organisms more and more. So number of members obviously increases. The common characters which are there, we're going to decrease. Is this something that you have to mug up? No, ma'am. I'll not mug up. I am going to just understand it, and I have understood it. I'm just going to use my logic. That's all. Okay, when you go down, common characters increases. When you move down, Baba, common characters which are there, they're going to increase lower than the taxon, more than the shared feature. Lower the taxon, more the shared features. So what do you mean by taxon? Each category of it is known as taxon. We're going to talk about it. Okay, so anyways, so this is the classification that I did. Okay, and I have called it taxonomic hierarchy. We're going to talk about each of these small terms which are there. Just know this is a classification that I have done. In technical terms, you call this as taxonomy. When you are classifying them into separate categories specifically. Classification is a broader term. I am going to classify. It's a process. When you have to give a term to this particular process, I'll call this as taxonomy, about which we're going to soon learn. Before that, we just need to know about all these things. We need to know about kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and the species are there. That is very, very important for us. Right? So over here, if at all I see, never forget the order. So how do I remember it? Usually is King Peter came over for a great soup. So King Peter, who was there? Baba, he was like, oh, there is some place in this particular kingdom where in one home there is very nice soup. I'm going to go there and have a very good soup. So the people who were there were saying King Peter came over for a great soup. So King stands for, K stands for kingdom, P stands for phylum, okay, C stands for class, okay, O stands for order, F stands for family, and G stands for genus, and S stands for species. Got it? Very, very important. Phylum is known as, the term is known as, is used in the case of, what do you say, animals. In the case of plants, you call this as division. Okay, they can ask you a question on the basis of this. What is the correct or arrangement of the, what do you say, the hierarchy of the taxa, each of the categories? You can be asked like this. Ascending and descending is being asked. Okay, ascending and descending is being asked. Now, ascending means what? Chota to bada, small to big, right? Ascending means what? Small to big. That is a basic logic that we have. Just give me a second, children. Small little second. Okay, small to big is something that we have over here. So listen to me. When you look at this particular thing, if you have been asked about ascending to descending, you have to go from species to kingdom. If you're asked about the other way around, basically you can go from here to here. So descending is this, from bigger to small. So since it is written, I'll just erase it and I'll write it over here. So this is going to be descending, from bigger to small. Over here, this which is there is going to be ascending. Okay, so this is ascending lower to higher, and that is descending higher to lower. Got it? That's the basic thing. If at all they ask you any time about this, you should be able to answer it. Okay, done? Got it? Yes. Now, what's the definition of classification and what's taxa? This is something that I want to tell you. Classification, I told you, it's a process of what? Grouping. Okay, grouping organism into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. Whatever characters are there which are easily observable, oh, this looks similar, I'll put it here. That is classification. It's basically a general term that we use. Now, when we say we are classifying them into different groups, right? You call these categories as taxa. You call this as taxa. Okay, so basically when I say you have kingdom is a taxa. Phylum is a taxa. Okay, next thing that is there, that is also a taxa. Okay, class is a taxa. So each category that we have over here is going to be known as taxa. And as I told you, there is a very important term that is going to be introduced over here, and that is taxonomy. What do you mean by that? Ma'am, classification which is there is a broader term, but when we talk about, like, you know, the organisms in general, the living organism in general, we cannot use the term classification there. We'll use a technical term to just denote this thing. It's known as taxonomy. Okay, the process of arranging organisms into each of these taxa, into different taxa, is known as taxonomy. It's just that, it's just classification only. You're classifying organism into different taxa, but you are giving a technical term. You're saying that arrangement of organism into different groups out there, as in different taxa out there, you call this as taxonomy, and it is going to be based on certain things. Okay, there is going to be based on several characters out there which are found in the case of living organism. So in general thing, how do you define it? Based on characteristics, all living organism can be classified into different taxa. This process is known as taxonomy. So, when you talk about, the older way of following it, okay, how do you do taxonomy? Basically, they were like, whatever feature is visible, I'll just, based on that, I'll do. But now it's not like that. The modern taxonomy depends on few things, and you need to remember about them very clearly. The first thing is basically external features. You call them as morphological characters also. You call them as morphological characters as well. Based on the external features, how do they appear from externally? Okay, what is their external thing made up of? And things like that. Based on that, we are going to group organism. Depending on the size, shape, visible features and all, we are going to group organism into one particular taxa. Similarly, we are going to consider their internal structure, their anatomical structures. Okay, their anatomical structure, their internal structure is also going to be seen. Similar, depending on the similarity, you're going to group them. Similarly, structure of the cell. Now we are going even more internal. So first we started with external features which are there. You call it as morphological feature. Then we go with inside internal features. You call them as anatomical features. Now we are going within the cell, and you're going to see the cell type, the cell, eukaryote, prokaryote, this and that. So many things would be there. So depending on the structure of the cell, the type of the cell which is there, you're going to group organism. Now later we have the developmental process. In which way is the organism developing? Is this indirect? You know, some organism lay their eggs and then direct, so then they develop. Some people, some organism, they do not lay eggs, for example us. Okay, so development is similarly how much time do they require, how many months do they require for the process and lifespan and stuff like that. There could be development process, entire how the organism grows in general, all of it is being considered. Last is ecological information, where and how it lives. Ecological information as in which habitat is it usually found, what is the general features that it has in those particular habitats out there. Okay, so depending on that, they are going to be classified. So what is taxonomy? Based on the characteristics of all the living organism, we are going to group organism into different taxa. This is known as taxonomy. And the modern taxonomical studies are built on these 5 pillars. The first pillar is study about the external structure. Okay, the second pillar is study about their internal structure, anatomical structure. Third thing is study about the structure of the cell. Fourth thing is study about the development process throughout. And final thing is ecological information. Where do they live? Okay, who are they? In which habitat do they usually live? What is their general features and stuff like that. You get it? So these are the 5 things that you have to remember. We can reload it once more. First is external features, then internal, then within the cell, then the developmental process in general, and finally the ecological information that we have. This is how we are going to classify the organism. Now when I say taxonomy, when I say classification of the organism, there are 4 basic processes involved over here. Those were the 5 things on which taxonomy is dependent. Over here I'll say this is how taxonomy is being done. There are some steps involved in taxonomy out there. Okay, there are a few steps involved over here. The first step that we have is characterization. That means, for example, I get to see an organism over here. I list down its character. Okay, this is the character, this is the character, this is the character. Now the next one is identification. Identification as in basically, okay, this is the character that this organism has. Basically, I am going to check whether any other organism has similar character or not. In that way, I am going to identify its grouping. I am going to identify its grouping. Now, once I have identified that, okay, this could be coming up over here, I am going to classify it. I am going to put it up there. That, macha, bro, you come over here, I am going to put you over here. Now, once you have done that, finally, you are going to name it. Finally, you are going to name it. Initially, do you name organisms out there? No. Okay, you're not going to name, until then they would be having their own common name out there. But finally, when you have got every idea of everything that is there, which genus they come under, which species they come under, you're going to put a new species name, genus name already will be there, new species name and everything you would be putting, and that's how you have done the nomenclature also. Okay, so if you are asked what are the 4 basic steps involved in taxonomy, don't think twice. Okay, use the logic. First is characterization. Second is going to be identification. Is it similar to any of the known organisms out there? The third one is going to be classification. I'm going to finally classify them. And the last one is going to give them an official name such that you are here in our group. Now, to give you an example for that, I have something over here. So this matcha that you see over here is a snow leopard. Okay, and so I characterized it. Okay, this is snow leopard, this has something like this on the surface, there is retractable claws and stuff like that, and I came up with list of characters out there. Okay, I studied really well about this particular organism. I came up with list of characters out there. Now I got to understand that basically if I see they are having very common features. So if you check their features, okay, the tiger, the lion and the, the cheetah and everyone, I get to have an understanding that out of this 4, basically we say that Kundali we are matching. Okay, 3 of them they are matching. 3 of them they are matching. Probably they could be coming under this. I have identified. First I have characterized. Okay, first I have done the characterization, I have understood what are the features, then I'm going to match it with the pre-existing organisms which are there. I have got to understand the identification also. Okay, I have got to understand the identification that okay, this is more or less similar to these organisms which are there. Now, when you classify them, will you classify them over here or here? Will you classify them over here or here? So you try to identify with this, you try to identify with that also. But you found that there are more common features over here with this particular set of organisms. Obviously, what will you do? You're going to put this organism right over here in classification with this particular organisms. Why? Because they had more common features, right? And after doing that, finally, you are going to name it. So listen to me very carefully, okay? Lion's name is Panthera leo. Panthera is the genus. Leo is going to be what? The species name. So it is known as Panthera leo. Tiger is known as Panthera tigris. Okay, leopard is known as Panthera pardus. Jaguar is known as Panthera onca. And snow leopard is known as Panthera uncia. So sorry, what do you understand from this? Baba, you had characterized them and you had got the basic things. From that you got an understanding that macha, all of them over here are belonging to the same genus. What is the name of the genus? Genus is Panthera. Genus is going to be Panthera. And obviously if it come under same genus, I will be putting it over here only, I will not put it elsewhere. Now this is a whole separate species. It is not like tiger, it's not like lion, it's not like cheetah, it's not like jaguar, it's a whole different thing, which is why I'll give a different species name to it. And what is it? It is known as Panthera uncia. It is known as Panthera uncia. Now what is given in the NCERT? Nothing too much is not given, okay, but you have to remember about lion, the tiger and the leopard. The lion, tiger and the leopard, you have to remember their names, okay, but that's not more important. The more important thing over here is, have you understand the process? Will you be able to write it if at all you have been asked? If at all you have been asked to tell me the order of what are the 4 basic processes which are involved or which are related to taxonomy. Will you be able to tell it? Yes, ma'am. First, characterization. Second, identification. The third one is going to be classification. And the last one is going to be nomenclature. That's the basic thing. That's the basic thing I want. List this particular thing which is there. I can make you learn this. Okay, I can make you learn this. So suppose over here I have the lion. So my lion is going to be very, very cute. So this is the lion that I have. Okay, this looks like something else, but anyways, okay, this lion which is there is known as Panthera leo. First letter, small letter, okay, you have to underline it also. Panthera leo. Then we have the tiger. I really did not know how to make the tiger, so I am going to make it something like this. Oh, the face is very, very small. Okay. So this is the tiger that no one will be scared of, don't worry, but yeah, anyways, this tiger looks like something else, but anyway, tiger which is there, it is known as Panthera tigris. Panthera tigris. Do you know why I'm even trying to draw? Even because even when I do not know how to draw a tiger, it's because, as I said, all these things that I'm talking about over here, it creates a photographic memory in your head. Okay, that ma'am did this and this was tigris, so like that. So that's something that I want, okay, nothing else. So Panthera leo is nothing but lion. Panthera tigris that we have is nothing but your tiger. Now, please forgive me, I do not know how to make, what do you say, the cheetah or the leopard and stuff like that. So you have to follow me, forgive me. There is one more guy, leopard. In leopard, you actually call it as leopard, okay, leopard. It is known as Panthera pardus. Panthera pardus. Leopard, par, you can remember like this. And then underline it. Okay, so Panthera leo, Panthera tiger, Panthera pardus. What do you understand from that? That all of them are from the same genus, ma'am. Okay, genus same, but species are going to be different. Species are going to be different. Got it? Yes. So, cool. And snow leopard will be a total different species, by the way. You see, this is Panthera pardus, this is Panthera uncia. That is going to be different. So what have we studied after that particular point? We have studied about, after we studied about the nomenclature, binomial nomenclature, we spoke about classification, we spoke about taxonomy. Taxonomy is what? Basically classification of organisms into different taxa. Based on 5 characters, morphological, anatomical, the cell structure, and basically the fourth one is going to be the developmental process, and last one is going to be ecological information. But when you do taxonomy, okay, when you do taxonomy, there are basically 4 steps that you have to follow. 4 basic processes. First is characterization, second is going to be identification, third one is going to be classification, and lastly nomenclature. Got it? Got it. And we studied about Panthera leo, Panthera tigris, and Panthera pardus. Okay, got it. Now I am coming up with new term. Now this new term is known as systematics. Okay, this is known as systematics. So listen, until now I just knew the organisms out there. Okay, I had the basic idea that this organism has to be put in the taxa and stuff like that. Now, along with understanding the taxonomy, along with understanding the classification of organism into different groups, I am going to study about its evolutionary relationship, as in basically which organism evolved from where, this organism evolved from there. This is known as phylogeny. Okay, whenever we study about the evolutionary relationship, study about the evolutionary relationships, we call this as phylogeny. We call this as phylogeny. So, if you are doing taxonomy, that is classification, and you are studying phylogeny also, you're studying the relationship between the organism of how they evolved and stuff like that, together I'll say this is systematics. This is basically what? Systematics. Taxonomy and phylogeny together, it's known as systematics. And what Carlos Linnaeus has to do with this? So study of organism and the relationship in between them is known as systematics, by the way. And the title of Linnaeus' publication, Systematics, the Systema Naturae, actually came from, what would you say? Okay, listen to me. Sorry. I can make it easy for you guys. What is systematics? Systematics is the study of organism and also their evolutionary relationships. So study of organism okay, and the classification about it, and also the evolutionary relationship together is known as systematics, about which, where was it written? In Systema Naturae. In Systema Naturae, by the way, this is a book that was published by Linnaeus. That was book was published by Linnaeus. Systematics come from the Latin word systema, meaning the systematic arrangement of organism. What does it mean? It means systematic arrangement of organism. I don't think there is anything to explain much over here, right? Its scope was later enlarged to include identification, nomenclature, and classification. Anyways, systematics can also take into account, as I said, evolutionary relationship. Linnaeus gave us binomial nomenclature. Earliest classification were based on the use of organism. Okay, that is not important for us. What is important is what is systematics, and you know that right now. Study of organism along with studying their evolutionary relationship. Okay, and basically Carolus Linnaeus was the guy who came up with a book that is known as Systema Naturae, and in Systema Naturae he basically mentioned about systematics and a lot of the other things, where it was clearly mentioned that this systematics term came from a Latin term which is known as systema, and that means the systematic arrangement of organism. This is just a general thing which comes in between, you know, there are certain things that we have to study for no big reasons, okay, but it has a big reason. Obviously when you're studying about organism, we need to know how is the evolutionary pattern as well, otherwise we are not going to understand the relationship between organisms. So definitely we have to do it, but yes, this is little out of box, but yeah. So there are confusion, this is a confusion burster that I want to bring up. Classification, what do you mean by that? The act of grouping organism into different categories. Now when you are talking that these categories are known as taxa, and I am grouping organism to different categories, that is taxa. This has a technical term, you call this as taxonomy. Classification of organism into taxa using structure, cell development and ecology. You call this as taxonomy. This is going to be more specific thing, okay, rather than using classification. Now there's a term that is systematics. What is it? Study of organism and their relationship includes identification, nomenclature and classification. Please remember this thing. Okay, what does it include? It includes identification, it includes the naming, and it includes classification as well. Three things are included in systematics: identification, nomenclature and classification. Okay, cool. Identification, naming, that is nomenclature, and classification. These are the few things that is there that is involved in systematics. Now this can be a question, this is a very, what do you say, a generic statement that they have put up, but still I'll request you to remember, please remember it. It can be a question at any time. What are the major, what do you say, major things which are included in systematics? In that case, you should be knowing it. Okay, so you're identifying, nomenclature, and what do you say, classification, all of them, they come under this. Okay, anyways, now we are going with something that is interesting for us, and that is what, ma'am, there is something that is known as taxonomic hierarchy. What do you mean by that? So basically I spoke about the kingdom, phylum and stuff like that. If you remember, I spoke about kingdom, phylum and all those categories out there. This categorization that you see, okay, all the different categories which are there together, you say that this is going to be known as taxonomical hierarchy. This is known as taxonomical hierarchy. This is the order of hierarchy. When I arrange them, all the taxa in order, this particular thing is known as hierarchy. Just give me a second, someone has come. Okay, got it? This is very important. Please do remember it. So, taxonomic hierarchy, all the categories together constitutes the taxonomic hierarchy. Is nothing but the arrangement of all the taxa. Okay, now in its order. Taxon is what? Each category is a unit of classification and represents a rank commonly known as taxa. I already mentioned about that, which is why I don't think we need to go ahead and talk about it again. So this is a taxon, this is a taxon, this is a taxon, and the arrangement is known as taxonomic hierarchy. And you know the arrangement, if at all you ever forget it, King Peter came over for a great soup. We know about that also. Now we are going to talk about each of them, and we are going to start with this one. We are going to start with species, because that is very important over here. Species, what is the basic thing that is followed over here to group organism into a species? I'll use a definition for it. A group of individual organisms with fundamental similarity is known as species. You should be able to distinguish one species from another closely related species based on the distinct morphological differences. You will be able to differentiate them on the basis of what? They're morphological, on the basis of how do they look, external features out there. I technically have a better definition for it, and I'm going to put that right over here. Any criteria to be considered as a species? The answer is yes. Species are always a group of individuals who can potentially interbreed and produce fertile offsprings. When do you call that organism? Two organisms which are there, they are in one particular species only. When, Baba, these two organisms can come together, they can breed, they can interbreed, and they can produce fertile offsprings. Then only I'll say that they are a single species out there. Got it? That they are a single species. This is very, very important for you guys to know. Right? So over here we have few things. One is Mangifera indica, second is Solanum tuberosum, third is Panthera leo, fourth is Homo sapiens. What are these indicating? This is there in your NCERT. What do these indicate? They indicate that, ma'am, all the species are going to be different over here. All the species over here are going to be different. Can I cross them and can I get fertile offsprings? The answer is no. The answer is no. Now basically, ma'am, that's whole different thing. This is mango, this is basically potato, this is lion, this is something else. Why are we talking about different? Genus is also different. No, ma'am. Genus is also different. Can you talk about two organisms belonging to the same genus? For example, Panthera leo, same genus, okay? Panthera tigris. What is happening? The genus is same. What about the species? Is it same? It's not same. It's not same. That is why I have put the name separately. Okay. Now, ma'am, what if I cross these organisms? What if I interbreed this organism? So you are saying that the offsprings, fertile offspring should not be produced. Is it always like that? Does it follow this particular rule? The answer is yes. And I am going to give you an example for that. This is your lion, a male lion. This is a female tiger. Okay? Male lion, female tiger are going to, suppose, we make them cross. What do you get over here? What do you get over here? This is known as a liger. What do you call this? This is actually known as a liger. And you get liger when a male lion and a female tiger crosses. So, ma'am, whatever you are saying has been wrong now. Anyway, they are producing offspring. No, that's not an issue. Will this liger be able to produce more offsprings? That is the question. Will this particular liger be able to produce more offsprings? The answer is no. Why? Because this particular guy who is there is going to be sterile, Baba. It is going to be sterile in nature. It cannot go on reproducing. So, ma'am, which is why I will not put them into one particular species. Definitely, you cannot put them. If there is some other tiger out there, can you put them in one species? Definitely, I can. Why? Because they are going to produce fertile offsprings. But here, that's not the case. Here, they are going to produce sterile offsprings. Now, there is a small little homework for all of you guys, because that can build your interest. And the question goes like this. This is about male lion and the female tiger, right? What if female lion and the male tiger is being used? Will you still call it as a liger, or do you have any other name for it? Okay, the question is, what if you use female lion and a male tiger? Will you still call the progeny as a liger, or do you have something else? Now, this is something that is not there in your NCERT. This is not something that will give you marks also. It is just something that could create, that could bring in a little bit of curiosity. So make sure you go and check it out. Cool, works. So, if I talk about species, I'll just read it about it again. A group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities. You should be able to distinguish one species from another closely related species based on what? Their morphological differences itself. So here, from one species to another, I can clearly differentiate them depending on their morphological features. Yes, very, very simple. Very, very simple for me to differentiate them. Now, here in your NCERT, they had given some examples in species itself, which does not make too much sense. But anyway, you should know this. Why? Because we're going to study the related thing. So species comes together to form genus and stuff like that, right? So we should be knowing about it. That's why we need to learn about all their names. Okay, and it's going to be easy, trust me. You know Panthera leo, you know Panthera tigris, you know Panthera pardis until this particular point. You also know Mangifera indica. Right, now we're going to study about potato. Potato basically comes under the genus, and that is known as Solanum. I'm writing it again. I know it's written over here, but I'm writing it again for that you also can register it. Solanum. Okay, it is known as Solanum, and the species is going to be known as tuberosum. You know, potato tuber, that is why tuberosum. So Solanum tuberosum is the name of what? Potato. Similarly, you know, brinjal. Brinjal also comes under this particular genus itself. So brinjal will also have the name Solanum. Will also have the name Solanum. Species is going to be different. I'm just giving you a heads up. Panthera leo, you studied about it. Homo sapiens, do you know who are they? We human beings. Okay, we human beings basically are Homo sapiens. Homo is the genus name and sapiens, which is there, is our species name. Okay, we are Homo sapiens. Cool, cool, ma'am. Okay, fine. So what is the new thing that we have studied? Basically over here, it's Solanum tuberosum, that is a new name that we have studied. That's a name of, potato. And ma'am, you said brinjal also comes under this? Yes, brinjal also comes under this particular genus itself. Okay, species is going to be different. Homo sapiens means we human beings are there. Okay, we studied about species. Whatever thing was given over there about species, we studied about it. They are organisms which can interbreed to produce fertile offsprings. Okay, if they are not able to produce fertile offsprings, they are not considered to be coming under one particular species. Now let's go ahead. What is genus? Genus, a group of related species. A group of related species, right? Panthera leo, Panthera tigris, Panthera pardus. All of them are related species only. They come under one genus that is known as Panthera. Genus comprises of a group of related species which have more characters in common compared to species of another genera. So if at all I talk about one genera, that is Panthera, okay, it is going to have the species coming under this will be more similar to each other than any other genus. For example, I have another genus that is Canis, or probably I have any other genus. Suppose there is Felis. This is another genus altogether. Felis is another genus altogether where you have cat, small cat, okay, small cat which is there, they come under Felis. Panthera is another genus. Here you have tiger, lion, everything. In Felis you have domestic cat, African cat, Italian cat, this thing, things like that. You get it? So who are going to be similar? The organisms over here, they're going to be similar to each other than with the organisms that are there in the other genera. That is what they are saying. Okay, they have more characters in common compared to species of another genera. They will be having more characters in common than the species of another genera altogether. Got it? Got it, ma'am. So here they have mentioned about 3 different genuses. One is Panthera. As I said, in Panthera, you know, you have already studied Panthera leo, lion, Panthera tigris, tiger, Panthera pardus, leopard. In Felis, they have not mentioned any other species. Okay, they have not mentioned what is the name of cat and stuff like that. Okay, so we also do not have to remember that. Just remember the genus name is Felis. You do not have to cover any species out there. It includes cat, a different genus from Panthera, still in the same family, Felidae. We'll come to that. Family part, let's forget right now. Okay, so genus is what? Felis. Now, there is another genus, Solanum. Solanum tuberosum, ma'am? Yes. What is the Solanum tuberosum? It is potato. Similarly, as I said, you have brinjal also in the same genus, but the species name is going to be different. It is known as Melongena. It is known as Melongena. Okay. So brinjal, which is there, it is known as Melongena. So I'll tell you easy way to remember it. Brinjal can be long. Okay. It can be long. So it's saying Melongena. Melongena. So it's long. It's saying that I'm long now. So that's why you can remember like that if you want. So M. Melongena is basically brinjal. Then there is S. Melongena is basically brinjal. Then there is S. nigrum also. That's a whole different, what do you say, plant. If at all I can try to, I did not take its picture. I was trying to, so just a second. I really want to show it. Or you can search it also, but anyway, if I can show it, it will be even better. Just a second. It looks like this. Okay, are you able to see? It's a black sort of thing, golu thing out there. You can search it. Okay, you can search it out there, but yeah, that is what S. nigrum. That is also important. S. nigrum. S. nigrum. So it is, people of Nigeria, they are usually having a darkest skin tone. Over here, this particular plant also has a darkest skin tone. So you can remember S. nigrum. S. nigrum. Okay, I'm not a racist, by the way. Don't think like that. Okay. So anyway, so that's a way to remember. That's the only thing. And it's not an issue being dark color or what do you say, fair in color. It's about what's there within you that matters more. Right? Yes. So anyway, we studied about 3 different things, and I really want you guys to write it somewhere. Come on, this is important. Otherwise, you are not going to score enough marks, and then you'll say, "Ma'am, you promised that you're going to get marks." So we have Panthera leo, Panthera tigris, and Panthera pardus. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This is your lion, this is your tiger, and this is your leopard. I think you will not forget this at least now. But you have to keep on revising for a few days now, otherwise you will forget it. Cool. I think that is done. Now what do you have after Panthera? You have the next person out there, next group of organisms that is there, that is Felis. In Felis, they have not mentioned any other species. They just have told that all the cats come over here. So cats come over here. You do not have to be worried about the species. These are animals. Basically now we have a plant example, Solanum. Solanum is a genus. In Solanum, the most easiest one to remember is tuberosum. Okay, tuberosum means what? Potato. Potato. Then we have Melongena. Melongena. This is going to be what? Brinjal. This is going to be brinjal. And there is one more. There is one more. And that is going to be what? I forgot the spelling of it. Nigrum. From Nigeria, what do we have? We have nigrum. Nigrum. Got it? Solanum, nigrum. So these are the few things. These are species. This is a genus. This is a genus. This is a genus. Now, species of one particular genus are going to be closely related in comparison to species of another genus. For example, tiger and lion will have more common features than tiger and cat. That is what I meant. Okay, this is what is mentioned in the case of genus out there. Now, the next thing that we are going to go ahead with is going to be family. If you remember, King Peter came over for a great soup. We have covered this. We have covered this. Now we are right over here. We're going to talk about the family. Now you listen to me. Okay? Panthera and Felis. Both of them will be having some common features. For example, I'll tell you one common feature. Both of them have retractable claws. Their claws which is there, it can move inside also. You might have seen in the case of cats, right? So they have retractable claws and they have many other features as well. Anyways, which is exactly why I am going to put it inside a family that is known as Felidae. I will be putting inside a family, both of them together in a family that is known as Felidae. So if at all you see, Baba, when you go down, the common features increases. When you go up, the common features are going to decrease. They are going to decrease, but somehow they are going to be related also. So they come under Felidae. Similarly, there is going to be a thing about Solanum also. I will be talking about it. Wait for some time. Okay? Got it? Got it? So they come under Felidae. So let's bring back the picture over here. Family, a group of related genera with still fewer similarities. Okay, a group of related genera which is there with still fewer similarities out there. So the first family that we have to study is Felidae. In Felidae comes who all? Genus Panthera comes under this, where you have the lion, tiger and everyone, and genus Felis also comes under this. Okay, under Felidae. Similarly, you have one more family. Ma'am, we started talking about dogs, kukur and nai and things like that. You are not talking about it anymore. Why is this partiality? So listen to me. We are going to talk about it also. Dogs which are there, they are not going to be like cats. Right? Dogs cannot be like cats. If you have seen dogs, general feature again. Do they have retractable claws? No, they have their claws always like this. Okay, so basically, dogs which are there, they come under another family altogether. You call this as Canidae. You call this as what? Canidae. So Felidae is for Panthera and the Felis out there. Cats which somewhat look similar. Canidae is for dogs. Okay, inside that you have genus, inside that you have species. You're not talking anything about it. You're directly coming and talking about the family. There are two different families out there, Felidae and Canidae. This family will be consisting of genus which are having very similarities out there. So look at a cat and a dog, some similarities but some real differences too. So they are separated. They are going to be separated. Now we come to plants. In plants, Baba, Solanum is a genus that we studied. Now, along with Solanum comes another genus, that is Petunia. Petunia flowers, if you can, please search. Okay, if you can, please search. They're very beautiful, pretty flowers out there. I'll show you. Petunia. Okay, so how do I show this to you? Okay. If it's visible, it's pink in color. Yeah, so there are different type of petunia. There are different type of petunia which is going to be there in the form of colors and stuff like that. So you will have that. But anyway, all of them come under one particular genus. They all the different species of petunia, red, pink, white, and things like that. They all are different species. Agreed. Do you form a genus? Yes. Just like Solanum, you have a genus, separate genus. This is a genus. This is known as Petunia. Similarly, you have another genus that is known as Datura. That is known as Datura. So you have three genus: Solanum, Petunia, Datura. They all form a family which is known as Solanaceae. This is known as Solanaceae. What do you call it? Solanaceae. So if you talk about family, here it ends with A. Okay, it ends with basically AE. Generally, it is ending with AE. This is going to be the suffix. The last part that is there, it is known as the suffix. In the case of animals, it is AE. Families end with AE. Okay. Over here, in the case of plants, it ends with ACAE. ACAE, Solanaceae, Solanaceae. You get it? Please remember it. Why I am telling you is that they can give you so many options and they can ask you, is this family, is this order, and things like that. If at all this term comes in, just understand it is going to be family. If at all AE comes at the end, here also it's AE, here also it's AE, you can remember like that. They are all talking about family. They are all talking about family. Now can we map this? Shall we map this? Until this particular point, whatever we have studied. Come on. So Panthera, Felis come under Felidae. Dogs come under Canidae. Okay, dogs come under Canidae. If you talk about Solanum, Petunia, Datura, they all come under one particular family, Solanaceae. Solanaceae. And now we are going to group them up. Listen, I have a table where everything is grouped already. The reason I am remaking it again and again is for you to remember it, to learn it, so that it's there in your head. Okay? So again, we have Panthera. We have Felis. Okay, we have Panthera and we have Felis. In Panthera, Leo, Tigris, Pardus. Species. Okay, these are going to be what? This is your genus. This is your genus. These are going to be your species. In Felis, there is nothing that is being mentioned. They just told that cats are there. That cats are there. Okay, here you have cats. Okay, now we come up with next thing, which is Canis. Canis is what? Basically here dogs are there. Canis is what? It's a genus. Okay, it's a genus where you have dogs. This different species of dogs. That is known as Canis. Okay. Now when we group them, can we group three of them together? No. Rather we say that after genus comes what? Family. In the family part, Panthera and Felis. Okay, the domestic cats and the wild cats which are there, they have something in common, which is why I am going to put them in Felidae. Okay, in Felidae. This guy which is there comes under a different whole family out there. You call it as Canidae. You call this as Canidae. This is a different family altogether. Got it? Got it. Now we come over here, we talk about the plants. Until now what we have studied? Solanum. Okay, in Solanum what do you have? You have tuberosum. Tuberosum. You have melongena. Melongena. Right? And finally over here you have nigrum. These are what? Species. Solanum is what? Genus. Similarly, you spoke about another genus that you have not studied. It's Petunia. And over here you have another genus that you have not studied. It's Datura. So you have Petunia, you have Datura over here. These three genuses which are there, they come together. Okay, to form a family which is known as Solanaceae. 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 This is O. Got it? Here it ends with this. Here it ends with this. In the case of family. Got it? Until this particular point. Got it? If you want, you can take a screenshot, by the way. Cool? Yes. Why I asked you to take a screenshot is because this screen could go off. That's why. Okay? Anyways. Now, genus is done, family is done. Let's talk about order. Let's talk about order. The assemblage of families that share a few similar characters are known as order. The families which are going to share a little characters here and there, they are going to be grouped up to form order. So here we have Felidae, we have Canidae. Felidae, which has Panthera as well as Felis, Canidae, which has Canis, together are grouped into order. What do you call this order as? Carnivora. What do you call this order as? Carnivora. They are carnivorous. Generally they are carnivorous, they eat up everything, or other organisms are there, so we'll say they are coming under the order Carnivora. Similarly, Solanaceae, which was there, it was having Solanum, it was having Petunia, it was having Datura and all this thing. Along with that, one more. This is what? ACEA. That means it's talking about family. Another family comes together over here. This is known as Convolvulaceae. Okay, it is known as Convolvulaceae. It is known as Convolvulaceae. Volvobus is there, no? That's how you can remember. Convolvulaceae is there. Along with that, Solanaceae comes together. You get another order that is known as polymonials. You know, I remember it as polynomials. In what do you say? Don't go right, lad. Okay. In math there is polynomials, right? So similarly over here we have polymonials. You just interchange certain things. Polynomials. Please remember your Ales and everything comes in order. Ales and everything. A, C, E and AE comes in family. Over here Ales and all comes in the case of order. Please remember, in the case of plants. In the case of plants, the suffix is going to be like this. Suffix, the spelling of suffix is this, by the way. Cool? And here, I need you to pay attention. Grouped mainly on the basis of the floral characters. Okay, they are going to be grouped. In the case of plants, they are going to be grouped majorly in an order on the basis of the floral characters. The vegetative and the reproductive characters of a plant is being considered over here. Please do remember it. The vegetative and the reproductive characters. Vegetative plus the reproductive character is being considered over here, and the floral characters are being considered over here. Got it? Got it. Now again, if at all we have to make it. If at all we have to make it, how do we make it? So now do we make it again? No, obviously no. We are going to come up with a simpler way of learning this. So you had Panthera, you had Felis, and you had your Canis over here. Okay? Panthera and Felis, which were genuses, they come under a family Felidae. Canis, which was there, it came under Canidae. Got it? Got it. Here, Solanum, Petunia, Datura, they all were genuses. They came under a family that is Solanaceae. Okay. Similarly, there is some other plant out there. You do not have to remember it. There is some other plant. They come under Convolvulaceae. Convolvulaceae. This is going to be a different family. This is the family that you have. AE, ACE, AE. Okay. So remember that. Now I am telling you, Felidae and Canidae, they are going to come together to form an order that is known as Carnivora. That is known as Carnivora. What about this guy, Solanaceae and Convolvulaceae? They come together to form polynomials. No, polymonials. It is known as polymonials. This is another order that we have. Got it? Got it, ma'am. Until this particular point, I hope this is clear. Now listen. The orders which are there, they're going to come together to form class. They are going to come together to form class. Carnivora, which is there, this is one order. Similarly, you have Primata. You have Primata, under which comes your monkey, gorilla, gibbons, human beings, everything we come under Primata. We come under Primata. Okay, we have the bigger brain structure and stuff like that. Anyways, so Carnivora and Primata, which is there, together they are going to form a class that is known as Mammalia. What do you call it? Mammalia. You know, there is fishes, amphibians, reptiles and mammals, and in between that there is aves also. Fishes, you know fishes. Amphibians as in one that can stay in land and water. Reptiles as in snake and everything. Aves as in birds, and M for mammals. These are different classes that we have. These are different classes we have. So carnivora as in dog and everything, and also this gorilla, monkey, gibbons and human beings. Do you think they can be put under reptiles? Are we reptiles? Okay, are we fishes? Are we amphibians? Are we birds? No, we just have one thing. We are coming under class that is Mammalia. That is what? Mammalia. Okay, okay. So this is other classes that is there. Let's forget it. Now when this mammals and the other classes come together, that means mammals plus all of them come together, what do you get? You get something that is known as the phylum, and this phylum's name is Chordata. And this phylum's name is what? Chordata. Similar to Chordata, you have different other non-chordates as well. That is going to be a different phylum altogether. Porifera, insect, arthropods and stuff like that. They're going to be a separate thing. If you have studied animal kingdom by now, then it will be easy. Otherwise also it is going to be easy. Trust me on that. Okay? You have that. Together they come under animals. So I'll put kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia. So we'll go backwards. Okay? Now we're going to backwards and we're going to see things. If animals are there, okay, the one animals which have notochord. Notochord is a very important thing, which is responsible for forming vertebral column in our body. Anyways, some organisms has notochord, some organism does not have notochord. I'm talking about animals. In animals, some have notochord, some does not have. The ones who have, you call them as chordates, and the one who do not have, you call them as non-chordates. Under non-chordates come different organisms. Anyway, so when you have to characterize, you call this as phylum Chordata, and then the ones who do not have, you have each of their names. Phylum Porifera, phylum Arthropoda, phylum Mollusca, and go on. Let's go on. Okay, so we had Animalia, and then we had a phylum which is Chordata, who has notochord. Now in this Chordata, again we have different class. After King Peter came as in class. In classes we have fishes, amphibians, reptiles and mammals and apes and everything. We come under what, Baba? Chordata, which is there. Under Chordata comes mammals. Under Chordata comes mammals. All this thing which is given over here just for you to understand, nothing else. So under Chordata comes mammals. Under mammals, Baba, you have different type of mammals. You do not have to learn about all of them. You clearly know about carnivora. In the carnivora comes what? Felidae and Canidae. But apart from that, you also have primata. You also, apart from carnivora, you also have something that is known as primata. This is very important. Primates are the ones which have more brain capacity out there, cranial capacity out there, such as your monkeys, gibbons and stuff, organisms like that. Okay, how did you get carnivora? Carnivora is basically a fusion of Felidae and Canidae, that is the families. Felidae is the genus which Felidae is the family that has Panthera as well as Felis. Okay, Canidae is the family that has the genus that is Canis. This is how things are gonna go, and I really want to go one by one, which is why I'll make it once more. Okay, so that things become even clear. I know it's not easy to remember. I clearly know that, and I get you. That's not your issue. I clearly know that. So we have the species. And this is just about animals, okay? Then we have the genus, then we have the family, then we have the order, we have the class, and we have the king. Just a second. We have to let some spacing. Okay, once more. Okay, once more we're gonna do. So let's start. Here we have the species, and this is going to be King Peter came over for great soup. Okay, this would be fine. Yes. In the species, what do we have? Panthera. We are going from the basic, okay? Panthera is there. Felis is there. That is the cats. Felis is there. That is the genus of the... Okay, just a second. Sorry. My bad. Okay, here you have Panthera. Okay, here you have Felis, and here you have Canis. In the Panthera, you have names also given. This is going to be small l. This is going to be Tigris, Leo, Tigris, and Pardus. Okay, these names you have to remember, okay? Here they have not mentioned anything, so remember cats. Here they have not mentioned anything, so remember dogs. Okay, now, Panthera and Felis, which is there, they come together to form a family which is known as Felidae. Felidae. This guy, Papa guy, okay, it does not have too much common things, so which is why it forms Canidae. Canidae. Okay, Canidae and Felidae. Now, Felidae and Canidae come together to form something which is known as what order? This order which is there. Both of them are coming together. Okay, cats and dogs, all of them are coming together. This order is known as Carnivora. Carnivora. Got it? Now, the carnivores which are there, they are going to be grouped under what? What is the class that is going to be there? In Carnivora, they come under which class? For that, we need to know one more very important thing. So over here, they had mentioned one more thing. Apart from, so here there are some monkeys, gibbons, gorilla, and stuff like that, which is why they came up with an order which is known as primata. Primata are the one which have larger brain capacity. Okay, they have the larger brain capacity. Until now, A, E, O was followed. Over here, there is nothing. Carnivora and primata, they are what? They are going to be the orders. Both these orders are basically going to come together to form a class that is known as Mammalia. That is known as Mammalia. Now you know there are different other classes also. There is fishes, there is amphibians, there is reptiles, there is aves, a lot of things out there. Now all of them, they come together to form a phylum. All of them has notochord. So I'll say chordata. Chordata, right? Now the chordata which is there over here, along with chordates, they are non-chordates also, such as porifera and blah 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 and things like that. Together they are going to form, they are all non-chordates, and here you have chordata. Finally we are going to form the kingdom that is Animalia. That is going to be Animalia. This is how things are gonna go. This is how things are going to go. So in your NCERT, you have this and this, Felidae, this Canidae, and this comes together to form Carnivora. This is the order. Carnivora is the order. Then you have what? You have basically Mammalia. They both come under mammals, and mammals, they come under chordates, and the chordates basically come under animals. That is the basic logic. Again, if at all you want to take a screenshot of this, you can go ahead and take a screenshot. Okay, then until this point, Baba, understanding, do you have any confusions? I hope no. Yes? Obviously, it's not going to be easy in one go. You know what? I'll promise you one thing. Even me, as a teacher, I also need learning of these concepts. I cannot come here and talk about it without learning. Yesterday I slept at 12 o'clock. I gave some time to learn all this thing once again and come in front of you. Otherwise, probably I will also not remember. And while I teach you, I'm still remembering it, which is why I'll request every one of you to take this thing very, very seriously. Whenever you teach someone else, it is definitely going to help you out. Got it? Okay, so keep on teaching. Just imagine that you are teaching someone else and keep on talking about this. Write this up. Writing helps. Okay, and do not look at the book. Close it and keep it like that. Do not look at the book. Okay, so this is something that you need. Now, talking about your plants. In plants, Baba, you had Solanum, Petunia, Datura. They were all genuses. Inside that, you had Solanum, you have Solanum tuberosum, nigrum, and Melongena, and things like that. Anyway, all of the three ones are coming together to form Solanaceae. Similarly, over here, you have some other plants which come under Convolvulaceae. Okay, both of them are going to join together to form an order. This order's name is Polymoniales. Okay, this is known as Polymoniales, so family and then order. Now, polymoniales which are there right over here, they are going to come under dicotyledon. So listen to me. You know, dicots and monocots are there. The ones that have two cotyledons, you call them as dicots. The one have one cotyledon, you call them as monocots, right? So polymoniales which are there, they come under dicots. So you call this as dicotyledone. Okay, dicotyledone. So there is O over here always, dicotyledone. Similarly over here, you have monocots also. That is just something that I have put over here just for you to have an understanding. Dicots and monocots come under angiosperm, and angiosperm comes under plant. That's all. We go back and we learn it. Over here you have plants. Plants have angiosperm, gymnosperms, lot of other things. Okay, gymnosperms, pteridophytes, and so many things are there. You just need to be worried about angiosperms, the flowering plants. The flowering plants which are there, this is going to be a phylum. Division. In the case of plants, as I told, division, right? So this is going to be a division. Angiosperm is a division. Angiospermae is going to be divided into dicotyledone as well as monocotyledon. In dicotyledone itself, you have your polymoniales. Polymoniales is basically grouped up by Solanaceae as well as Convolvulaceae. Okay, this is very, very important. Got it? And finally, you have all this thing. Again, this becomes difficult for you to remember, which is exactly why I will be talking about it. Now, for that, I also need a picture such that I do not make any mistakes. Okay? So, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and try it out. So, again, you have King Peter came over for a great soup. And I'll be honest over here, it's more easy for me to go backwards in the case of plants. Kingdom Plantae. Under that, you have multiple phylums, but I am talking about Angiospermae, the flowering plants. Angiospermae. Under that, we have Dicotyledone. Got it? Under that we have dicotyledonate. Under that the order which is there is polymonials. Polymonials. Under that we have a family that is what? Solanaceae and Convolvulaceae. Convolvulaceae. Just a second. My handwriting and this. Convolvulaceae. Okay, got it? And then under this Solanaceae you have what? Genus. Under this Solanaceae you have few genuses. By the way, this is Solanum, this is Petunia, and this is Datura. There are 3 of the genus that comes under to form this. In Convolvulaceae we do not know what are the genus which is there. Now in Solanum we have few things. As I said, tuberosum, this is going to be your potato. Then nigrum, this is going to be something else. And then finally you have Melongena. This is what? This is your brinjal. Okay, got it? So these are the 3 species coming under Solanum. Solanum, Petunia, Datura are 3 different genus that comes to form the families, that is Solanaceae. Along with that we have Convolvulaceae. That together brings in the order that is Polymonials. Polymonials come under dicots, and dicotyledonate come under Angiospermae. Angiospermae come under Plantae. That's all. It's simple. We thought it's going to be difficult, but actually it's simple. I did not need the picture. That's the best part of it. And why did Jasmine Ma'am did not need the picture? Because she's a teacher? No. Because she had made sure that we put efforts and try to practice it. That's the only thing. And still we do mistakes. But at least we know. But at least we realize that we are doing some mistake. Okay? You get it? So that's very, very important. Make sure you write up. I hope this is helping you. Yes, yes. Now, coming up over here. So class included, so if you go backwards, just to understand, okay, species which are there, they are a group of individuals who can potentially interbreed and produce fertile offsprings out there. They are going to be having the most number of similarities out there. Then the similar species come together to form the genus. The species of one particular genus is going to be closely related in comparison to the genus of, species of another particular genus out there. Got it? Then we spoke about families. The group of related genuses are going to form families out there. In plants, basically you have seen the example, that is Solanaceae and all. In animals you saw Felidae and Canidae. Okay, and then you have order. In order, that's basically assemblage of all the families which have some similarities out there. In order, Felidae and Canidae came together to form Carnivora, if you remember, and the plants Convolvulaceae as well as Solanaceae came together to form Polymonials, and they are put in order on the basis of their vegetative. Vegetative means plants part that are not going to be involved in sexual reproduction, and also their reproductive parts. So vegetative and reproductive parts, both of them were being considered. Reproductive as in the flower portion, right? They are responsible for sexual reproduction. So vegetative, stem and everything, as well as the reproductive parts are being considered for putting organism into one particular order. Remember that. Now, after that, order come together to form class. It includes related orders. Order Primata, order Carnivora, they come under class Mammalia. Now, phylum includes related classes: fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals. They come under phylum Chordata. The highest category is basically, all the animals grouped together into Animalia, all the plants into Plantae. This is how it goes. Okay, so that's all. Nothing much. There is nothing much to discuss about it. And here I have a question. By the way, this particular chart is going to help you. This is something that I have put. This is something that I have put. This is something that I have put. The reason that, just in case later on, if you're just going through it, you should be getting an idea of it. Okay, so yes. As I told every one of you, for all the notes and everything, join the WhatsApp channel. You will be getting the notes out there. Also, check out the AIO page, log in up there. That is also where you will be getting your notes. That is where you'll get the structured plan of every lecture that is going to be coming in. Right? Yes. So, can we try to fill this? It's for human beings. Ayyo, just a second. Did I remove that? Can we try to fill this? And I removed it. How? Why? Okay. Anyways. So I had a game for you guys, but cool. Or probably I still can have a game for you. Do not mind. Just give me a second. Okay, let's go. Let's still play the game out there. Are you? Did it go? No. Yes. Homo, human beings, we're talking about human beings. What is the species of human beings? If you remember, Homo sapiens. So sapiens is going to be the species. And what is the genus going to be like? Homo. Homo is the genus. Family, any idea? Family, I do not know, ma'am. But let's study because it's there in your NCERT and we need to know. It's known as hominidae. Hominidae. Okay, hominidae. Then we have order. Order, can you guess? If you remember, we studied about carnivora and primata. And I told you human beings come under primata. So this is your primata. Okay, now class. Class, can you guess? Class, human beings come under what? In primata also you have different classes, fishes, amphibians, reptiles, mammals and stuff like that. Basically, can I say it's mammals? Yeah, mammalia. It is going to be mammalia. Phylum. Mammals come under which phylum? Chordates or basically other non-chordates, porifera and stuff like that. Chordata. Chordata. And finally, kingdom. We are coming under animal kingdom, so it is going to be Animalia. Is going to be Animalia. Now let's check it out. Okay, let's check out all of them. Sapiens is a species name. Genus Homo. Okay, family Hominidae, as I mentioned. Order Primata. Class Mammalia. Phylum Chordata, and you have Animalia. Have we studied it? Have we studied it? This is how we can go about studying certain things out there. It is definitely going to help you out. Okay, so apart from primata, you had order carnivora there being studied. Okay, now primata as well as carnivora, both of them are going to come under class mammalia. You have multiple other classes also, as I said, fishes, amphibians and all of them. Basically, all these classes coming together, you get chordata, and chordata come under Animalia. Okay, yes. Now, so this is another question that I have for you guys, and let's try to solve it. Where do the house cats split? Okay, so basically house cats, which are the cutie pie that is out there, they split at some point. Where do they split? Order carnivora, carnivora, carnivora. Does cat come under carnivora order? What do you think? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They come under carnivora. I remember cats and dogs were put together in carnivora. Family, Felidae, Felidae, Felidae. Felidae is for felis, that is cats, and also for Panthera. Right, Panthera, that is the wild cats out there, that is also correct, ma'am. Okay, genus Panthera, Panthera, Panthera. And what about the domestic cats which are there? They come under the genus that is Panthera? No, ma'am, they come under what? Felis. So this is where they are going to be different. This is where they are going to be different. Enjoyed it? Liking it? Yes? Cool? Works? Okay, now we have few more questions out there. This is a KCET question, okay? In a taxonomic hierarchy, the number of common characters will increase as we go from. In a taxonomical hierarchy, the number of common characters will increase as we go from. Common characters are going to increase as we go from species to kingdom, kingdom to species, class to order, genus to species. As we move down from descending to ascending position, that's when the common features are going to increase, right? In kingdom, you will have very less common features. In species, you will have more. In species, we are going to have more. So kingdom to species can be the answer for this question. Is it? In a taxonomical hierarchy, the number of common characters will increase as we go from kingdom to species. Please do remember, this is very, very, very important thing. Cool? Cool, ma'am. Next question. This is KCET 2017 question. Okay. So identify the order from the following: Carnivora, Insecta, Mucidae, Panthera. So you do not know about Mucidae right now, but you can guess that AE is there. Probably it is going to be a family. Okay. Felidae, Canidae. Remember? Right, and over here Panthera, so you know it's a genus. What I will have it Carnivora and Insecta. If you remember, if you try to remember, order, we had order Carnivora. In this particular order, you have what? Felidae as well as Canidae coming together, which is why the answer for this question is going to be Carnivora. Insecta is a class. As I told you, you have class Mammalia and things like that. Similarly, you have class Insecta as well. You have class Insecta coming under phylum Arthropoda. That's going to be totally different out there. So there's a phylum Arthropoda, in which you have your insects and everything. A lot of different things out there. So there's a class that is Insecta, where you have insects. Okay, anyways, so answer is going to be carnivora. So yes, the ones that ends with this is basically animal family, always remember. So this is the animal family out there. Italicized single word genus. Okay, that's all, nothing else is there for you guys to have as a memory. Now that particular question is coming. Let's go ahead. Now over here there is a very important table that is given in your NCERT. Have you ever seen that? On the basis of this also you're going to get so many questions, so many questions, and we need to remember it. So until now we remembered Solanaceae, Convolvulaceae and every Laceae out there. They form which order? Polynomials, right? So similarly we have few more things to remember, and I hope you're in this with me. So make sure you hear me very carefully. Okay, let's begin. So man is known as Homo sapiens. We studied about it. Genus is going to be Homo. What is a family? Hominidae. Okay, what is a family? It is going to be Hominidae. Order is going to be Primata. You know, order is there. Order is going to be there, and that is going to be known as Primata. They come under primates. Apart from that, you have Carnivora. We are not Carnivora. We are going to be Primata. Okay, we have large brain size and stuff like that. The primates and the carnivores, everything are going to form mammals, Mammalia, and the Mammalia is coming under Chordata, along with fishes, amphibians and stuff like that. We know this particular thing. I hope we know, right? Do the exact exercise that I showed you over here. Try this and try to find the answer for this. Okay, you will get the PDF. Try it out. Now we have the next particular organism out there, that is housefly. Okay, it is housefly, and the biological name of housefly is Musca domestica. Okay, bun musca you have heard, no? That is different. Okay, don't have this instead of bun musca. This is Musca domestica. Ew, what did I say? Okay, Musca domestica. Okay, Musca is the genus name. We know that. Domestica is what? The species name. We know that. Now we need to know the family name. Family is Mucidae. So Musca Mucidae. Musca Mucidae. You can remember Musca over here. You just put Dei. That is how family name is being done in the case of animals, right? So it becomes Mucidae. Here it was Hominidae. Here it is Mucidae. Got it? Got it. Now from here you have to study. Okay, from here you have to study. Now if at all you go backwards, although that will also be easy. Arthropoda is there. Under Arthropoda I told you multiple other organisms are there. One class is there which is known as Insecta. Beyond this you have kingdom. Okay, kingdom is basically, you know what is a kingdom? Animalia. Then Arthropoda is the phylum. Then Insecta, which is there, is a class. Just like how we have Mammalia as a class coming under chordates, right? Similarly here under phylum Arthropoda you have a class Insecta. Inside Insecta you have an order that is known as Diptera. That is known as Diptera. Okay, Diptera. So over here okay, I tried to remember it yesterday by this. My dear. Okay, when you say my dear housefly, you can just say like that, but it's actually not sounding right. Written like this. My dear housefly as in Mucidae. Where is it? This is going to be Mucidae. This is the family. Okay, D stands for Diptera. I stands for Insecta. At least you will remember the order, no? A stands for Arthropoda. Got it? And then you have the kingdom, which is going to be Animalia itself. So Mucidae, Diptera, Insecta and Arthropoda is there. This is very important. If you remember this flow itself, you can crack at least a MCQ question. For obviously writing theoretically, you have to remember everything. That for that also I'm going to help you. Okay, once we are done with this, we're going to revise it. Now Mangifera indica is there. Now we're talking about plants. Mangifera, you know Mangifera is a genus. Now this is where things are going to be different. Okay, Anacardiaceae. Anacardiaceae. So Anacardiaceae, as in basically when we have mango, our cardiac activity increases. Do you know that? Well, this is something that I made up right now. Well, basically, you can just remember that whenever we eat mango, we feel so good, our heart beats faster. Okay, you can think like that if you want. But anyway, Anacardiaceae is the family name. Now they come under polymonials. No, they come under sapindales. They come under sapindales out there. Okay, sapindales. And basically sapindales, they are also part of dicotyledonea itself, and dicot basically a part of angiosperm. So under dicot we have sapindales, and we also have one more thing. Remember, we had polymonials. Okay, under polymonials we have Solanaceae and Convolvulaceae. Over here we have dicots, then you have sapindales. Under sapindales you have Anacardiaceae. Okay, got it. And finally, Baba, you have triticum aesticum. If you see, if you do not have to, mug this up, please remember, when you try to break open the seed of a mango, you can find two cotyledons, right? Two cotyledons will be there. That is why you call them as dicots. And dicots and monocots, they come under angiosperms, flowering plants only. Okay, now we have triticum aestivum. Triticum aestivum is what? Wheat. It is going to be wheat. In wheat, Baba, this family again is going to change. Poaceae. It is going to be Poaceae, and this is going to be Poales. Okay, this is going to be Poales. So Poaceae, and the order becomes what? Poales over here, and finally here it becomes monocot. So wheat is a monocotyledon. It does not have two cotyledons. Monocot, and they come under angiosperm. Now again, this could be different for you, difficult for you. So what do? We learn it in our own way, right? Are we ready? So let's make it. Kingdom. King Peter came over for great soup. Okay, what do we have? We have human beings. We have fly, house fly. Okay, what do we have next? We have, by the way, this particular chart is very important. You cannot miss it. Okay, then we have mango, and then we have your wheat. Okay, let's go. Kingdom. We know both of them are belonging to Animalia. So we write it. Animalia. Animalia. Now here they come under Plantae. So we write Plantae. Plantae. Okay, got it, ma'am. Now phylum. They have notochord out there. The notochord converts into vertebral. So basically I can say they are coming under chordata. Chordata. They do not have that. Okay, housefly has vertebral column or notochord, Baba? No, they do not have it, which is why you call them as non-chordates. But specifically, this housefly comes under one particular phylum, and that is known as Arthropoda. Arthropoda. Okay, this is a phylum's name. Mango, which is there, it comes under dicots. Dicota. First, you have to write angiosperm. No, who will write that? In plant also, you have different divisions, right? Angiospermae. They are flowering plants. Mango plant has a flower. Similarly, here also angiospermae. Okay, okay, ma'am. Cool. Now here, class. When we talk about class, human beings come under which class? Mammalia, ma'am. Under chordate, you have only few things, ma'am, aves and reptiles and this and that. So obviously, mammalia is the one that where human beings come. What about housefly? Any idea? What about housefly? If you remember, I can make it easily. If you remember, I can make it easily. My dear. My dear, if you remember my dear, right? A was Arthropoda, it is going to be Insecta. The class is going to be Insecta. Here it is going to be Diptera. Here it is going to be Mucidae. That is an easy way to go about this particular thing. Okay, but anyway, let's go about it. Again, mango, they have dicots or monocots, they are dicotyledon. So I'll write dicotyledonae. Over here, they are monocots, so I'll write monocotyledonae. Got it? Got it, ma'am. That is all sorted. Order, ma'am. Order, I know, it's primata. Here it is Diptera, but here it is going to be primata. Okay? What about this order, Baba? Any idea? By the way, I have forgotten it. Okay? What is the order of mango and wheat? Any faint memory of it? This was Poales and this was Sapindales. This was Poale and this was Sapindales. Yes, yes, that is correct. Now for family, if I see what is the family over here that I have for human beings, in which family do they come under? Hominidae. L and D, no? So, Hominidae. Over here, it is going to end with ACAE. So, here it is going to be what? Any idea? Anacardiaceae. Over there, Solanaceae. Is it? Poaceae. It is going to be Poaceae. It's very difficult, no? Yes. And genus. Finally, we have come over here. Okay, finally, we have come over here. Human beings, Homo. Here, sapiens. Okay, what about housefly? Musca. and here domestica. Please make sure you write this small letter, okay? Musca domestica. Mango, mangifera, and then here indica, and finally wheat, triticum, and at the end aestivum. Hiya. Done. This is how we go about it. This is very, very, very important. Please don't forget it. If you forget it, basically it's of no use. Okay, please make sure. I know it takes time. I had given my time over here to explain you this. There's one way that I do not write it and I go. Okay, even if I write it, I do not know whether it's useful or not, but I'm pretty sure at least one of you could be trying with me. So I really, really want you guys to do that. Okay, make sure you try it by yourself as well. Very, very, very important. Cool? Yes. Now we come up with a question. This is a KCET question only. Now if you're thinking that, ma'am, you're saying it's important, but I'm not sure whether it's important or not. See, this is a KCET 2023 question. Select the correctly matched pair of organisms with their order. Musca domestica, diphthera. You have been asked about their order. Okay, so order, in order basically ales comes in, or basically diphthera, primata and stuff like that come in. Musca domestica, diphthera. Is it the correct order? Yes. First one is itself correct. Homo sapiens poelza. Why? No, it's not. It's going to be primata. Wrong. Mangifera indica. Primata. Wrong. Mangifera indica is going to be what? Sapindales. Sapindales. M and S. MS Dhoni you can remember. Okay. Sapindales. M and S. Always remember. Mango and sapindales. Triticum aesticum, which is there. Okay, Triticum aestivum, sapindales, wrong. It is going to be poales. It is going to be poales. Got it? So yes, so the answer for this question, as of now you might remember, but for remembering it even better, I'll tell you, I'll request you to come up with, what do you say, to try on, keep on trying. And also, if you have any tricks that probably I can utilize in the next batch, please let me know. No, I'm just kidding. Please make sure if you have any tricks to remember the, what do you say, this whole table out there, one by one, like this, okay, like I said, my dear, it helps me. Okay, similarly, if you have something for the other organisms as well, please put it down in the comment section such that all your other friends can also take the benefit of it. You know, human beings are having buddhi. We have a brain. Why? For what reason? For what reason do we have brain? We have to use it to make sure that we spread love and also we spread information. Okay, by spreading love, I mean by doing good to others. So let's do good to others. So now I'm going to end this particular session, but before that, I have some questions for you guys. Before that, if you have not hit on the subscribe button yet, make sure you hit on it right now. So lowest taxonomical category, what is it? Rapid fire. Lowest taxonomical category, ma'am, it's going to be species. Okay. Order of housefly. Order of housefly. Housefly comes in which order? Diphthera. Diphthera is the order. Class is insecta. Diphthera. Okay. Class of mango. Class of mango. Ayyo. Then I do not remember it. Class of mango. Class. King Peter came. So kingdom is Plantae. This is Angiospermae. Class is going to be, mango is dicot or monocot? Dicot. So it is going to be Dicotyledone. Okay, now plant equivalent of phylum. Plant equivalent of phylum means in the case of animals you call this as phylum, but what do you call this in the case of animals? You call this as division. You call this as division, right? Yes, ma'am. Okay, family of the lion. Lion, they have come to lion directly. Lion family, any guesses? Lion, Panthera, Leo. If you remember, Panthera and Felis come to form Felidae. Felidae is going to be the answer, right? It's going to be Felidae. Cool. Now, I'm going to give you a question for homework, by the way. Code that names animals. Code that names animals. You have International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. ICZN. Now, family of wheat. Family of wheat, Baba. Family, it has to end with ACAE. It has to end with ACAE. What do you call wheat? Triticum aestivum. Triticum aestivum, Poaceae. It is going to be Poaceae. Okay. Genus of potato. Any idea? Genus of potato. Genus. Solanum. Solanum tuberosum. So Solanum is the genus. Solanum is the genus. Okay. Publication by Linnaeus, if you remember. Publication by Relay Systema Naturae. Okay, order of monkey and gorilla. Now this is something that I give as a homework. What is the order of monkey and gorilla and gibbons? Go, try it, my fellow monkeys. Let's make sure that we are able to crack it up. Okay, make sure you try to remember it rather than looking through your notes. Remember it and then put it down in the comment section. Works? So I think that's all. That's something that I wanted to do, and I hope this was a class which could help you understand a lot of things, and it was interactive. Well, if it was, definitely let me know in the comment section. If you have any doubts which is still persisting in your head, do let me know about that also. And my dear children, as I always say, make sure you help each other. That is very, very important. Helping is important. That's how we grow. And we have to make sure that we grow together. So yes, share this particular video link with all of your friends if you like it, and share the PDF as well. And yes, that's all. Okay, so bye bye, lots of love, take care, and happy day from Jasmine Ma'am.